Hey guys, Captain Mike Whiskey and Wooditcher coming at you tonight with the whiskey. We've got High West Double Rye versus Redwood Empire Emerald Giant. I've had this, or I've been through more bottles of High West Double Rye than any other whiskey, and I've had this Emerald Giant on my shelf for almost a year and haven't opened it until last night. Had a couple pours, and I thought, let's compare these two whiskeys, because on paper they are very similar. The High West, they're very transparent. This is a blend of MGP, high rye, 95% rye and 5% barley malt. And it's got High West distillate in here, 80% rye and 20% malted rye. 92 proof, and it says it's aged between at least 2 years. I paid $34.99 for this bottle, and I've seen it anywhere between $27 and $39. And if you're paying more than $39 for a High West Double Rye, you need to find a new liquor store. Just because this is from Utah, it was super available where I was at when I started drinking whiskey, and it just kind of reminds me of the motherland, Utah. So that was kind of why I started drinking High West, and the Double Rye is a solid whiskey every time. Redwood Empire, Emerald Giant. And I feel like their website is not quite as transparent as High West, which just lays it all out. Here we are. Where does this whiskey come from? And Redwood Empire is definitely distilling their own whiskeys at this point. But so is High West, and there's MGP juice in this bottle. And they're very upfront about that. Redwood Empire, it definitely says on the bottle, bottled in Sonoma County. So I'm assuming if this was all Redwood Empire whiskey, it would say that on the bottle. And I bet they're sourcing the whiskey MGP. Anyone? I don't really know, but I would assume this is not all Redwood Empire distillates. But on the website, they say it's 95% rye, and that's all it says. It's 90 proof, and the barrels are aged between 3 and 5 years. I paid $44.99 for this bottle, and I've seen it anywhere between $39 and $49 for the Redwood Empire Emerald Giant. And I've had 8 bottles of different Redwood Empires, all different, and I've only opened one before yesterday, and that was the Lost Monarch. I do have the Emerald Giant cask strength. Maybe I'll open that one next. Here we go. So I feel like I said, on paper, these whiskeys are very, very similar. Even the bottles are somewhat similar. I do really like the High West bottle. Just kind of has that old-timey feel, has some raised glass. I mean, this picture and their labels on Emerald Giant look great, but I think overall, the High West just wins with the bottle look, just kind of that old-timey feel with this old, huge, wooden-looking cork and whatnot. Great-looking bottle. All the High West bottles look exactly the same, so even their premium products, the Midwinter Night's Dram and Prisoner Share, it's all the same mold. It's a very kind of subtle nose. It's that same High West. There's some rye spice in there, but it's actually pretty muted, a little bit of sweetness. And I feel like when I was nosing this last night, it's pretty similar. Same thing. It's a little different sweetness. Same spices I get on the Double Rye. I feel like the sweetness, whatever it is just a little different. And I can smell this. It has a stronger nose than the High West. Very similar, a little more burn. But very, very, very similar nose. Redwood Empire is a stronger smelling whiskey. Double Rye. I've had, I don't know how many bottles of Double Rye I've been through, but a number of them. It's a very young whiskey. It's very peppery, followed by just a little bit of sweetness, and then more pepper as it's just kind of coating the palate as it goes down. If you don't like rye, you're not gonna like the High West Double Rye because it is all rye. So, but good, solid whiskey. I love this in a cocktail, an old fashioned. It really just shines through. Kind of lower proof maybe for a cocktail, but that rye just kind of helps carry it through. Let's see, Redwood Empire. I felt like it was kind of the same thing. Again, kind of the same note on the nose. This is really what I think about the Redwood Empire. If you took the High West, put a couple drops of water in it, you would have the Emerald Giant. In the sense that it's very, very similar on the taste. You have that rye spice forward, a little maybe honey sweetness, and then more rye kicking in there on the finish, but it's less than the High West. And possibly because it's slightly older. I mean, it's only 2 proof less, so that's pretty equivalent. And I mean, at least 2 years old and 3 to 5 years old. So not a lot of difference in there, but there is enough difference that I feel like the nose is greater on the Redwood Empire. It's more present and lively, but I feel like on the taste, it's actually less perky or peppier than the High West Double Rye. It's a great bottle of whiskey. Very high rye, 95%. And it's a great sipper. I really like this. I think it also would be great in a cocktail. It's just one step below the High West Double Rye in that pepperness, that rye spice and the allspice, that it's just hitting me less. So for some people, that double rye spice is too much. And maybe again, that's the youth. That's for some people too much. So maybe for those people, the Redwood Empire would be a better choice. And it's $5 to $10 more than the High West Double Rye. I think there's a place for this on my shelf. I think the bottle looks great, and it looks great with all the other Redwood Empires that I have. And but for me, the High West Double Rye is where it's at. And again, a great whiskey, but a couple dollars cheaper, and I think perkier and peppier, the High West Double Rye. All right, guys, that's all I have for you tonight. I hope you're reading something good and drinking something great. Turn the pages, my friends, and stay thirsty. Cheers.